So from the west to the north we go, and as you can see, I am now joined by a special guest for this week. It's none other than Leeds Tykes Director Rugby, Pete Seabourne. Pete, great to see you again on the show, and thanks so much for coming on this week.
Yeah, no worries, Chris. Thanks for having us again. It's always a pleasure to sit down and chat with you. Last time I was at AMC Head in the stadium. So yeah, it's always a pleasure to help out with the show.
Cheers, Pete. Yeah, we dragged you on the show again, Pete, because for a very good reason this time, we are building up to a big game at the weekend in National 2 North with league leaders Leeds Tykes hosting second place Sheffield at the Sycamores at West Park Leeds Rugby Club. And with Leeds being the home side, we thought we'd catch up with Pete to give people a bit of flavour of what they can expect from the top of the table clash on Saturday afternoon. So if you're thinking there's no Six Nations this weekend, this might be the hottest ticket in town across National League Rugby on Saturday, because just 1 point separates Leeds and Sheffield as we enter round 19. But before we get into that, Pete, let's reflect on round 18 and what was described to me as a resilient 28-24 win for Leeds Tykes away at sixth placed Wharfdale. Tom Williams' last minute try securing the bonus point for you guys, Pete. So has the heart rate settled since Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, we've settled down a little bit. It was a fantastic fixture, fantastic game like it always is between Leeds and Wharfdale. It's a tough place to go, which we knew that. They come out of blocks very quickly and started very well. Once we settled down, we got back into the game. Just after half time, we got in front 14-10, but then again, fair play to Wharfdale. They come back at us and they got two quick tries, and but we kept going. We kept playing right to the end. We got a try with 7 minutes to go through Adam Brown, and then we got a penalty 40 yards out, and then the referee matched them back 10 yards for back chat. So we always leave it to the players. I was pushing for them to kick a goal and come away 24 apiece, but message come back to me that the lads wanted to have a go at it, and fair play to them. They got over the line. So we're a tough, resilient group, and they showed that again on Saturday. To come away with a win like we did, and that Wharfdale say they lost it, we always say we won it. But no, it's a good win, and it feels like it could be a possibly a season-defining moment for us if we can back it up this week. Obviously, with Sheffield coming into town.
It did feel like when, watching the footage back over the weekend, one of those victories that can define teams, certainly towards the top of the table, Pete. But just kind of looking at the last few weeks for Leeds Tykes, you mentioned before that we kind of chatted when we featured the club on the show just before Christmas when he played Otley. But kind of since then, I've certainly seen kind of a really efficient sort of looking machine that you've been able to assemble at Leeds Tykes. Last season, we saw you score brilliant tries, dazzling rugby was played, scintillating rugby was played, but it feels like there's a bit more of a workman-like approach and maybe an added extra dimension to your game this year, Pete. So is it all about kind of trying to get the result in any way you can this year? And you might have to adapt your game plan to different scenarios, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, every team's coming to knock us off as perch. I mean, we've been sat top or nearly top for the last 2 years, and we missed out last year. But we looked at where we needed to be and how we needed to improve the squad. Some players left. Brought 15 new players in that have all played this time. So it's getting that right balance of how to approach each game. The top three are pretty clear, but then you've got your Wharfdale, your Fylde, your Prestons, people like that who are pushing just below that, and then like the bottom five, bottom six. I think there's only 6 points between Harrogate who are bottom and seventh and eighth. I don't know seventh and eighth, but it's that tight. One or two wins could flip it, and they all believe that they can. They can beat each other. They all believe that they can come to us and beat us, or we're going there and they can turn us over, which is rightly so, because and any team in this league, in my eyes, can beat anybody on any particular day. And we had a lot of blowouts last year, whereas this year we're not getting that because teams are fighting hard. They're wanting points, wanting bonus points, and it reflects in each team's performance.
Yeah, absolutely what Pete says there. We echo, because Leeds' latest battling victory over Wharfdale, as we said, leaves them still on top of the pile. But fellow title candidates Lim did stumble at home, but did so against a banging form Tynedale. Tynedale leading 28-19 at half-time, but a blistering start to the second half where they scored 3 tries in 10 minutes, took the game away from Lim as Tynedale recorded a 47-33 victory in Cheshire. Just the second team to beat Lim this season and the first team to beat Lim in Lim for 13 months. So as Pete was saying there, these sides below the top three are certainly good value for victories at the moment, and Tyne are certainly one of those. Up to fifth in the table, and Lim's defeat meant, like Leeds Tykes, second place Sheffield were able to edge away from them in the standings as Anthony Poser's side recorded an 11th successive victory with a very impressive 43-23 win over Hull. So what that means for the title race, just to bring up the table in front of myself and Pete now, is that Leeds and Sheffield are separated by a single point going into this weekend's clash, while Lim are now 9 points off the top, but do have a game in hand to come away at fourth place Fylde next Saturday. Just down to the bottom of the table, just quickly, a good response and an excellent win for 10th place Sheffield Tigers, who went away to Fylde last week and clinched a 32-28 victory. It leaves them 8 points clear of the danger zone, while 12th placed Otley were not far away from picking up a crucial result in their season at Preston Grasshoppers. They missed two tricky penalty attempts late on at Lightfoot Green as Preston held out for a 27-24 win. So it was a losing bonus point for Otley, which leaves them a point clear of the bottom two. But bringing it back to you guys, Pete, and bringing it back to the top of the table, when we featured you, as we spoke about before, when you played Otley just before Christmas, you didn't really want to touch on title races and promotion too much when we chatted. It was a straight bat, as I think you said. But with 8 games to go, with you guys being at home this weekend against Sheffield in the form they are, is it hard to kind of ignore how big of a week this could be in terms of the season and what's to come on the horizon?
Well, in our eyes, every week's a big week. Cause we've got to keep playing. We've got to keep winning. If we were going to get where we would like to be, and obviously where we dropped off last year, then we have to keep winning. Sheffield is going to be a massive battle for us, as it will be for them on Saturday. They're coming into West Park. They haven't played there. They didn't play there last year because played them at Headingley. So it'll be interesting how they adapt to the field and the conditions, and it's a different climate up at West Park, as most people know. So yeah, again, we're just taking one game at a time, and we're not getting beyond ourselves. We're not looking too far ahead. It's like, okay, the focus this week is solely on Sheffield and what we can do against a very good, well coached and well drilled side with Anthony Poser in charge, and you've got Ryan Burrows, and Don Parsons in there, and Elliot Fisher at 9. They have threats all over the field, and they're going to cause us some real problems. But hopefully, if we get our game right, then we can cause them some problems as well.
And have you kind of maybe been unsurprised then, listening to that answer, Pete, of the way Sheffield have kind of kicked on since you guys went to Aberdale Park and edged him earlier in the season? I think they've only dropped 1 point since that defeat to you guys in October. So have you been kind of unsurprised by themselves just dusting themselves down and getting on with the job in hand?
Yeah, they're a good side. Last couple of years have shown we've had. Last year, like we went there first game of the season, I think it was 40-36 game, and then at Headingley it were similar type of result, and then this year everybody expected another blowout score when we won with the penalty like 4 minutes from time at 13-12. So the sides are improving defensively as that result shown, and then attacking wise, both teams have got threats all over the field, and if you're allowed to play and you get your chances, you need to take them, and it's going to be an interesting game Saturday, a game I'm looking forward to. We've got a lot of sponsors coming in and people like that, so it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it.
And just finally, Pete, I think I know what the answer is going to be to this, but I'm going to try it anyway. You're still a fair chunk of rugby to be played, as you mentioned, in terms of Leeds Tykes. You've got tricky away trips. I was having a look last night to Tynedale on the last day, I think it is. You've got Chester as well, who are playing really well at home. But I know the next 2 home games, I think I'm right in saying, against Sheffield and Lim. So just how crucial could the next month be for your aspirations, Pete? Or are we going to just take it one game at a time again?
One game at a time. We just plan one game at a time, and like after this week, the players are going to get some time off because we've no game the week after on the 22nd, and then we plan for Preston, because each game's completely different. Like if we jump too far ahead, then it's pointless, because you lose focus on what the next challenge is, and the next challenge is for us at Leeds is a good performance against Sheffield, and then hopefully the result will take care of itself.
Yeah, and Pete will be hoping the result can take care of itself from a Leeds Tykes perspective at West Park Leeds on Saturday. And their fixture with Sheffield also sees the Tykes team up with the Victoria Cross Trust charity. And you can find out more about this on the Leeds Tykes Club website and their social media channels. And West Yorkshire, in fact, feels like the epicentre of the title race this weekend because along with Leeds versus Sheffield, third place Lim are just a few miles down the road at Otley. And obviously Lim will have a close eye on their rivals going head to head as one, if not both, may drop points, but Adam Fletcher and Andy Davis's side will be looking for a reaction at Cross Green first and foremost, as will Otley after coming pretty close to ending their 4-match losing run last time out. Elsewhere, Otley's table rivals Billingham host Wharfdale. The North East club are targeting 3 successive home victories, and they did beat Wharfdale 2017 in this corresponding fixture last April. So can they muster up a repeat of that? Bottom of the table, Harrogate were able to collect 2 bonus points in round 18, but they led twice during their 29-26 defeat against Chester. So they will want to build on that against the Fylde side, who have lost 3 of their last 4 games. Hull take on Preston Grasshoppers in what feels like another big contest in the bottom half. Hull currently sit 11th in the standings and 4 points clear of the danger zone, while Preston's recent run of 3 wins from their last 4 matches has eased any relegation fears for the 9th place side. So could Lancashire get the better of Yorkshire on Saturday? It's a full White Rose affair when Sheffield Tigers entertain Hull Ionians. The hosts will be on a high after their round 18 win over Fylde, while Hull Ionians ended a run of 5 straight defeats last time out, but had to come from 21 points down after 23 minutes against Billingham to eventually win 40-26. So can they add to that victory in round 19? And finally, Tynedale, who continue to impress, will be aiming to extend their record of just 1 defeat in 10 matches when the 5th place side welcome Chester to the North East.